What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you're having a good day so far. Thanks for taking some time out of your day to even hang out with me here on my little channel. Let's just kind of jump right into this. We're hopping back into the EF. We have a little bit of work to finish up on it, so this is going to be at least the final part on working on it. We might revisit this car when it goes to get dynoed. The owner was speaking with me yesterday, invited me out to the dyno when it's done, which would be cool because I'm curious to see what this car makes and how it performs, because I drove it from my parking spot to the driveway here, so I don't really know how well it runs. It seemed like it run pretty mid, but again, I just want to see what kind of power this thing makes. So if we have the time when this guy goes to get a dyno, I would love to go film it. But picking up, so recouping the last video, if you did not watch last video, we basically spent the rest of the time finishing up intercooler stuff, I believe, and getting the dump tube made. So the dump tube, as you guys know, EF B series turbo with AC, obviously problematic. And just because some of you said how hard this was going to be, I wanted to prove you wrong. I mean, you weren't wrong, because it was very hard, but I wanted to show you that I could do it, and I did it. So here is the dump tube. The reason we didn't run it over here, again, I mentioned this in the last video, but is because he's going to be running some sort of coupler situation and some pipe to get the filter over here to get some fresh air, not from the radiator, over here. And some of you commented there's no fans on here. He's going to be using this type of fan, or maybe even a spall fan. He'll figure that out when he gets there. But anyway, back to this. So all I have to do is finish welding this flange up. I just needed it tacked in place because I wanted to make sure that after welding all of this, it didn't shrink too much. So it shrunk a little bit, but not enough to ruin this. But yeah, it's literally a perfect fit. Tucks nice and back there, kind of against the block almost. And the guy already came by yesterday because he was checking it out to drop off the exhaust, which was the other thing that we were going to do to this thing. We were going to build the 3-inch exhaust for it, but a few comments and also doing some research, the owner found that 2.5 is going to flow better on this setup than 3. 3 is going to be overkill, probably lose pressure if anything. And he already had a 2.5-inch exhaust system that was pre-made. Nothing really fancy, but he brought it by yesterday, installed it for me. Well, he offered to do it since he had to drop the control arm and it took him 2 minutes anyway, so just saved me a few minutes there. So basically what I have to do is kind of essentially trim this piece and or recreate this to attach the downpipe to the exhaust system. And the downpipe we have to modify just a little bit because it's made for like a B16, I believe, so it's not quite long enough, so it's almost touching the oil pan. It's literally like millimeters away, so we're gonna just lengthen it to drop it down just a hair, and then all I have to do is finish welding the flange on to where I did the downpipe and then drill the hole out for, you know, the gases to actually flow, and then the dump tube is completely done. So finish dump tube, finish exhaust, hook up oil catch can, and this car can go home. Well, you guys missed it. The second I turned that last clip off, my drill battery died, so I switched to this green one right here, and this one apparently has a full battery and a hell of a lot of torque. And I was moving up to the next size drill bit as I'm trying to hog this hole out because the hole saw bit just chewed itself up because it's stainless, and yeah, you know, if you've ever drilled stainless, you know it sucks butt. But yeah, this thing grabbed the metal and just threw that drill base right at my face and busted my nose. I mean, I already cleaned it up, but you can kind of see the little scratch right here. It's a little gash, and then I don't know. It's not broken, but it definitely, my face definitely hurts. That's for sure. So I really need a plasma cutter, man, because this would make this job so much easier. Like a plasma cutter or a really big hole saw, or not hole saw, drill press, because mine now just doesn't have enough torque, and it's just it's not big enough to fit something like the downpipe on it. But ideally, I need a stinking plasma cutter, so that way I can cut crap like this and stuff like this more precisely, and do like manifold freaking flange crap and stuff. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video so far. Got the flanges finished being welded up on this guy. Got the extension welded up on this guy. So I'm just waiting for the owner to come drop off the last 2 pieces. And we can put this thing together. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this cool off so it's not hot. I'm gonna reinstall that. And then from there, I'm just probably gonna plumb up the catch can. I mean, it's really simple. So, I mean, I don't even know if I'll film that, but yeah, we're just about there. Good news is my face doesn't hurt as much, but definitely a little cut there, but gotta pay to play, I guess. Sounds like a turbo car at idle. Came back at this now. This is probably 3 days later, somewhere around there. Yesterday was 4th of July, so hopefully you guys had a good 4th of July, spend it with your friends, families, played it safe, whatever. And then Saturday I had a funeral to go to of one of my late friends, so I didn't want to touch the car over the weekend. I just wasn't in the mood, didn't really have time, didn't feel like it. So we're actually going to get this thing finished up. Now with the dump tube all situated, we did run into the issue of where I'm going to have to remove that AC compressor to get that thing on. I don't know if I mentioned that already. If I didn't, then the guy already popped by. He said he'll deal with that later. So he'll do that when he gets the car home. So in the meantime, all that's left for me to do is let's do this piece. So let's kind of crawl under there. Obviously the camera doesn't really fit under there too well with the lighting. I don't know, it's just crappy lighting, so I don't want to bore you guys with that. So I'm gonna crawl under there, try and figure out, get my pieces situated, you know. And then again, we have this resonator here to work with. Oh, except for I still need him to drop me off the adapter. Oh wait, never mind, I'm just retarded. He brought it by. It's right here, because we got the V-band, we got the pipe expander. So that's all we needed. Now let's try and get under there and make that go to that, and that go to that, and that go to that. Got some welds laid down on this resonator. So even though this other piece is mild steel, I did TIG weld it because I do have some 309L stainless filler, which is, I believe, more for, I mean, I know it's mild steel to stainless steel, but I forget, like, I think it has a lower carbon makeup, higher, I don't know, I don't remember, don't quote me on that. But yeah, anyway, I just want to make this piece, since it's all shiny and stainless, look nice on both top and bottom. So now all we have to do is mount this up, kind of, sort of, to the downpipe, and make this little last section with the flange to go to the flange to go to the car that's under the thing. For anyone that says the desert is just a dry heat, tell me what this is. Tell me why my cup's sweating and why we got clouds in the sky, eh? I know humidity when I see it. Not really though, it's humid today. Recently we've had some rain kind of drizzling here and there for the last like 3 days. My car is absolutely disgusting and it's really humid, but it feels kind of good. It's a nice change of pace from like 115 and just straight dry heat, but I don't know, that's just me. There we go, got it all welded up, got it bolted to the flange right there, so we'll fire it up here in a little bit. I just got to hook up the catch can and this thing can go home, but there is a gasket that needs to be put here. They didn't have one, they'll have to get one, so there's going to be a slight exhaust leak, but overall, pretty stoked with it. This last section came out pretty smooth. Everything's already all welded up, so I don't even have to worry about dropping it back down again. I just had to pull it off the hanger. The only concern is obviously clearance. This is very big pipe for such a small Honda. So we'll see. His car isn't very low, but it's always a concern. So this whole section here is probably going to be pretty low to the ground. Like, there was no avoiding that because the downpipe is so thick, being the 3-inch, and it has that huge flex pipe in there. There was no way to suck it up anymore because I actually had to pull it away from the oil pan upon request of the owner. So whatever. Once we get it back on the ground, we'll see how this thing looks and we'll see how it sounds. Forgot I got to throw on these other two 2-inch clamps that the guy brought by, just right here and right there. So tight fit, but slap those on. So opening this catch can box, let's see what we got in here. So this is the catch can. I did already look inside this. Unfortunately, there is no like baffling. So I honestly might try and shove a piece of steel wool in there, but I don't know, we'll see. I might just leave it to the guy to update or upgrade later. We got a bunch of AN fittings, we got the filter for the top, and this is, I mean this is the little drain for it, but this is the style of catch can that replaces the fittings and the black box on the back of the block. So we have 2 fittings here. Well, I don't know why they send you this one. This is like a press style, that's stupid. But we got this one here with the threaded -10 AN, and then obviously the thread that goes in the back of the block for port number 1 and port number 2 with the big copper washer as well. I'm assuming this is probably for a valve cover, but I don't know why they would supply that. And then we got obviously some hose. So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna hook it up just like that. I always have to go through and redo the Honda, like research on the Honda PCV systems every time I do this, because I get so confused and I don't do them often, so I forget. But in this scenario, being that it is a turbo application, we're gonna want to, I'm assuming everything I've read and everybody I've talked to thus far, get rid of the PCV valve, because that's just going to be a hindrance in this case. So this is going to let this breathe quite a bit better, relieve some of that excess pressure. It's not the fanciest setup, but he's not going for the fanciest build. It's just functional. It's not going to be a high horsepower car at all, obviously, as we've discussed. So we're just going to run this as is. So I'm going to get under there, remove the black box, get rid of this T here because there's no need for that. So I'll cap off this piece. I believe this goes to his boost gauge, and we'll thread those fittings into the back. We'll run the lines, we'll make the lines, and yeah, and then wrap this thing up. I'm a goober, so I got the black box off, and I just realized that that's what that other fitting is for, is to plug the hole for the black box, this guy. So that's what this one is for, with the little O-rings on it. But other than that, everything else is pretty straightforward. There is a little fitting on the top. It's got like a little, almost like the end of the PCV valve looking thing here that goes into the top of the black box. Can't really get the camera up there to show you. I'll film it on the phone really quick. But we gotta cap that off. So that Allen head screw, that's what we're gonna be taking off to put the vents in, or the fittings. There's one more tucked up, in this case, up there, you know, kind of, yeah, you get the point. It's like right next to this thing. Let me try and get my finger on it. This guy right there. But yeah, so that fitting right there, that little vacuum nipple looking thingy next to that hose, I'm just gonna put a vacuum cap on that and then put a clamp on it, and then that should be sufficient enough. And then that's the hole that we're plugging right there from the black box. So airtight fit back here, especially with the engine in the car. Not too sure what to do about that one because the oil pressure feeds, so yeah, I don't know. I'm probably just gonna have to move that and then re-put it back in. It's just gonna be a pain in the butt, but let's get it done. Okay, so changed it up a little bit. I didn't have a clamp small enough that would fit around just a nipple, a vacuum nipple, so I just put the thing on. I put the vacuum nipple on the hose and clamped it down and clamped the hose back down. So I did just realize though that I can't really use that fitting, that port that's over here with the hose because this guy's in the way. So I just texted the guy, said like, yo, let's use a sandwich plate to mount here to feed these over there, and then we have access to both of these guys. And in the meantime, while I'm waiting for it, oh, and he just texted me back. What is the decision? What is, oh, wrong guy, too many people. Well, I'll get to text the right guy now. So now I just text the actual owner, so we'll see what he says. I accidentally texted the wrong person. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be fine with it, but that might mean I can only hook up one side of this, and then he'll have to do the rest, or that might mean the car will sit here for another few days while we wait for a sandwich plate to show up if nobody has one locally in stock. But I don't know, we'll see, let's wait. So the car texted me back, he said he's gonna order up a sandwich plate, but in the meantime we got a little piece of mail, and some of you guys may know who this is from if you watch his channel at least. And if you don't, you should definitely go check out your boy. Let me see if I got the sticker in here, and you guys should instantly recognize it. And by the way, I gotta add, very nice packaging, since I mean the shirt with everything and then having the separate envelope just for this stuff. But you already know. You know I had to get a Cheek City air freshener. Honestly, I don't even know if I'll use it in the car as much as I'll hang on to it just because I really like it. And then we got that key tag, or the jet tag, whatever it's called. I don't know what they're called. And then Zosh even hit me up because when I was trying to find a shirt on the website, it kept showing they were out of stock. and your boy Percy hooked me up with a shirt, and it's just one of those things, like, support those who support you. And I love Percy's videos. I've been watching him for a few years at least, and he's a really good dude, a genuine, hilarious, just creator, content creator, and person, car guy, whatever you want to call him. So if you guys don't already, go check out Zosh, and go scoop some merch. Go scoop some of my merch, some of his merch. Just support the local car community, the YouTube scene. We're not anybody different. We're no different than any of you guys just because we make videos. It doesn't make us any better. We're just people. So it's just people supporting people, and support your people. Well, the owner just got back to me, said it's not going to be here for about 5 to 6 days for the sandwich plate. So he's told me to just go ahead, slap the plug in that came with the kit, and then he'll go ahead and set the catch can up, and then I'll just send him home with the rest of the parts. But I'm going to go ahead and get this thing buttoned up. I am going to pull the bumper bar off. I'm going to get it fixtured up, so I'll probably kind of show you guys how to go about that, because fixturing stuff is kind of cool. It's sometimes a little confusing, sometimes a little tricky, but overall it's relatively simple and kind of fun. So we'll do that, and then we can get this thing on the ground and we can fire it up. I mean, well, I don't know, it's not going to sound very good right now because of the hole in the exhaust, but whatever. So for some reason I think this thing either has too big of a gasket or was machined wrong or something, so that plug's not really fitting in there. I tried tapping it with the 3-pound hammer and it wouldn't even get past the first gasket, so I just put the black box back on. And ideally he can do the same thing and just cap it, I'm pretty sure. But whatever, let's go make this fixture. So the stuff that I always use to make my fixtures with, granted my DA front bumper bar I use a front clip for, but this is like my rear bumper bar fixture, for example. So this is just a piece of like 3" by 1" tube stock, flat stock, whatever, I think tube stock. And yeah, I mean, you can kind of see I just have these 2 bolts here to bolt the plates to, and then I have supports to hold the main tube for, and then this is my centering plate. This is where I bolt on my little thing for my plate. So the idea for this one is going to be basically the same thing, but let's kind of just kind of go about it so you guys can get a better understanding. Finished up for the most part, I believe, what should be good enough. So basically, obviously you got your main plate here. These are 2 support legs, one here, and that's to keep the bar at the height that I need it to. Obviously these tabs, I have 2 on each one to kind of help hold the tube in the position where I want it in terms of forward and backness. And then these 2 tabs here are going to get drilled out. I already got the hole started. I just need to widen it up and put a riv nut in there. These are going to be for optional intercooler mounts because why not? So I don't know, I'll probably add like an extra $10 for those who want intercooler mounts. And then we got the riv nuts for the plates to mount. And so basically the way I would go about this is I would get my main tube bent up. Oh, and I also added a center line. So I went and put this in the bumper, measured it out, found this is my center line. This should be the direct middle of the pipe. So before I bend the pipes, I'm going to add a middle line and then just line that up with that, which is, this is painted on here now. And that way I can kind of keep track of where it is. So basically I would just set the main tube in the position that it is there, probably clamp it in place, bolt the plates in, and then all I do is slide my supports into place, weld it, and go about the day, and that's pretty much it. And then, you know, we always got to slap that logo on there. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to wrap this thing up here. I'm going to go ahead and finish welding this guy, so that way I can put it back on the car, and then we'll get the car put back on the ground and end this video off. So I just gave it a quick little vacuum out, at least on this side of the car, just as like a little courteous, slight little thank you for like bringing it by. And it was bothering me because it was filthy and the dash is disgusting, so I'm probably gonna wipe that down really quick as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, fire this thing up. We're gonna move the S2000, and then we're gonna put this out there so that way I can bring the S2000 back in, because I gotta clean the interior on that too. But yeah, that way this car will be ready for the guy to pick up this evening. Well, there we go. That car is good to go. Hopefully the guy appreciates and enjoys everything that was done to it. And hopefully, I can't wait to see it on the dyno. So hopefully we have the time, keep saying hopefully we have the time to go to the dyno with him when his dyno time is here. So once he finishes buttoning up the last of the things on the car, and maybe we can see that thing rip on the dyno. But hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Gosh, stop saying the stupid word. And if you did, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you have considered subscribing by now. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you would like to help support the channel, I do have a Patreon. I also have Amazon affiliate links for tools and stuff, camera equipment that I use if you want to get your own. And I also have merch and stuff in the big cartel. I've got t-shirts, I've got the Coffee Guy stickers, which are limited to 50. We only have about 40 left. So if you guys would like to get one before they're gone forever, let me know. And I've also still got some DA bars on the big cartel as well. So anyways, guys, do what you love with the rest. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.